You don't have to choose between doing good and doing well.
Congratulations to all you recent college graduates in the U.S. By now, most of you have received your diplomas and sat through a gratuitous speech in which an important person explained to you how to change the world, probably by assuming that the lessons extrapolated from his experience for some reason apply to everyone else, and forgetting to mention the massive role that sheer luck played in his life, but realistically won't play in yours. Sorry. There was one exception.
Tisch graduates, you made it. And you're
But look, maybe you were hungover after one last bender and you weren't listening anyways. So here's a different speech, one that will stick to the facts about who else is in your graduating class and what might come next in your lives. To begin with, you actually should feel pretty good about yourselves. Less than 6 out of every 10 students who enroll at 2- and 4-year colleges actually get a degree within 6 years. You got there. Well, you and 1.8 million other people. But actually, that's pretty exclusive company, because only about 1/3 of Americans over the age of 25 have a bachelor's degree. And it matters. There's a wage premium that college graduates earn above people the same age who only have a high school diploma. And it's pretty big. The median wage of young recent college graduates is about $37,000 a year. That's almost double the wages, about 80% higher, than the wages of the people the same age who only have high school diplomas. Now, obviously, not all of you graduates will make the same amount of money in the coming years. Those of you who studied the sciences, health, and education will have an easier time finding jobs than people who studied social work, humanities, and the arts. And among those of you who do find jobs, there's going to be a wide range of salaries when you start out. So double congrats to the engineering majors, who can expect to make around $57,000 a year within the next few years. Majors in computer science and math will make about $48,000 a year, and business majors will get about $40,000 a year. By the way, about 1 out of every 5 of you did study business, and that makes it the most popular major. People who studied liberal arts, communications, education, and psychology will be making between $30,000 and $34,000 a year. And of course, there's a lot of variability within each of those majors, depending on things like your school's rank, whether you later go on to graduate school, and what city you live in. Almost 60% of your graduating class is female. Women have been a higher share of college graduates for decades now. And the best research we have indicates that the reason has to do with a combination of changing economic incentives and behavioral differences that start manifesting in high school. And in addition to having more graduates, women also choose different majors than men do. So men are still the majority of computer science and engineering majors, and women are the majority of health and education majors. And for the sciences and business, it's about an even split. While women have made progress in recent decades in increasingly studying the majors that were traditionally dominated by men, this kind of progress has only gone in one direction. In other words, men haven't made progress in taking up majors traditionally dominated by women. And that same trend has also been reflected in the labor market. Lastly, on the topic of gender, although women are increasingly better trained than men are for the kinds of jobs that the labor market will need in the future, they still confront a resilient and unfortunate gender wage gap. That gap will widen over time throughout your careers, but it's already there right after you graduate. Still a lot of progress that's left to be made there. And plenty of other disparities in your graduating class also exist, most notably those based on racial and ethnic backgrounds. So about 4 out of every 10 white young adults between the ages of 25 and 29 have a bachelor's degree. That's double the share of black Americans and slightly more than double the share of Hispanic Americans with bachelor's degrees. The Asian population of these young adults had the highest share at 58%. And unfortunately, those disparities are also evident in the one big looming issue that's relevant for so many of you: student debt. About 70% of you are graduating with student loans to pay back. And each of those students owes an average of $35,000. Both of those statistics have been spiking for the last 2 decades. But again, those debts are not evenly spread out among the population of college graduates. Students from low-income families borrow more, and that's not surprising. But the divisions here also break down along racial and ethnic lines. More than 8 out of 10 black students borrow money to get their degrees, even at public schools, while the same share for white students is less than 7 out of 10. And black students and lower-income students who receive government grants also borrow a higher amount. Finally, I'm going to try to end on a kind of sort of hopeful note. The recession of 2008 was brutally, disproportionately hard on young people. And for years, many of those graduates who did find employment were doing jobs that didn't even really require college degrees. In other words, the jobs for college grads just weren't as good as they were before the recession. They still aren't. But a study from the New York Fed just found that the share of recent college graduates who are stuck in jobs that don't require a college degree has finally started to fall in the last couple of years. Combined with the ongoing decline in the unemployment rate, at least your prospects are getting a little bit brighter. So good luck, and again, congratulations. If you want to see the studies cited in this video, go to ft.com/FT Alphaville, and there you'll find the links.